Have you ever found yourself feeling frustrated because someone else's words or actions ruined your day? Do you feel like others can easily affect your mood, your decisions, or even your sense of self-worth? These moments are more common than we think. We often give our power away without realizing it, allowing others to influence how we feel, think, and act. Imagine how freeing it would be to take that power back, to no longer be at the mercy of others' opinions or behaviors. Let's say you're driving, and someone cuts you off in traffic. Your heart races, anger rises, and suddenly your whole day feels thrown off. But what if, instead of letting that person control your emotions, you remain calm and unaffected? This is what it means to hold on to your power, to stay centered no matter what happens around you. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore insights that transform lives. If you're new here, we invite you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribes, so please take a moment to hit that subscribe button now. Your support helps us bring you more content that can change the way you see the world. In Buddhism, maintaining inner control is essential for personal freedom and peace. The teachings emphasize that true power doesn't come from controlling others, but from mastering oneself. When you stop reacting to external circumstances and focus on your inner state, you gain a strength that cannot be shaken by the outside world. This video will explore how Buddhist wisdom can help you reclaim your power, stay calm, and live with a sense of inner peace that no one can take away from you. As we dive deeper, you'll discover practical ways to apply these principles in your everyday life. Ready to stop giving away your power? Let's begin. Understanding the self, the core of personal power. To reclaim your power, you must first understand who you truly are. This journey begins with self-awareness, which is the foundation of personal strength. Many people go through life without really knowing themselves, allowing others to define their worth and identity. But what if you could break free from that cycle? What if you could discover the real you, the one that is powerful and unshakable? Self-awareness means taking a step back and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Imagine sitting quietly in a park, watching the clouds drift by. Just as you watch those clouds, you can learn to observe your own thoughts. This practice helps you identify what influences your emotions. Are you reacting to what others say or think? Are you influenced by social media, friends, or even family expectations? Recognizing these influences is the first step in taking back your power. Buddhism teaches that the self is not a fixed entity, but rather a fluid concept. We are made up of experiences, beliefs, and emotions. When we hold on to a rigid idea of who we are, we create suffering. By understanding that the self can change, we free ourselves from the burden of expectations. Think of it like a river flowing through a landscape. The river is constantly changing, shaping the land around it, but it remains a river nonetheless. By embracing this fluidity, you can learn to adapt and grow without feeling trapped by your past. This understanding leads us to another crucial concept, the impermanence of life. Everything around us is temporary. Our feelings, our relationships, and even our challenges. When we grasp this truth, we start to see that our reactions don't define us. Just like clouds in the sky, emotions come and go. By acknowledging their temporary nature, we can choose how to respond. This is where true power lies, in the ability to respond rather than react. Let's take a moment to reflect. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by a situation, only to realize later that it wasn't as bad as you thought? Perhaps you faced criticism at work or felt rejected by a friend. In those moments, it can feel like your whole world is crumbling. But with time, you see things more clearly. You realize that you are not defined by those moments. They are just parts of your journey. This realization is liberating. In Buddhism, there's a teaching called non-attachment. It encourages us to let go of our need to cling to outcomes, people, or even our self-image. When we learn to practice non-attachment, we stop giving others power over us. Instead of seeking validation from outside sources, we find it within ourselves. This shift is empowering. You become less affected by others' opinions because you no longer rely on them for your self-worth. Practicing self-reflection is essential in this journey. Set aside a few minutes each day to think about your experiences. What made you happy? What upset you? How did you react? By becoming aware of these patterns, you can start to make conscious choices about how you want to respond in the future. This awareness is the key to understanding your true self. Now, let's talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness is a practice rooted in Buddhism that helps us stay present in the moment. When you are mindful, you observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This practice helps you recognize when you are giving your power away. For instance, if someone criticizes you, instead of reacting defensively, mindfulness allows you to pause and assess your feelings. You can choose how to respond rather than letting your emotions take over. The simple way to cultivate mindfulness is through meditation. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. As you breathe in and out, notice any thoughts that arise. Acknowledge them, then gently return your focus to your breath. This practice helps you create space between your thoughts and your reactions. Over time, you'll find it easier to stay calm and centered, even in challenging situations. Another effective practice is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can provide clarity. You might discover patterns in your reactions that you weren't aware of before. Ask yourself questions like, what triggers my anger? Or, how do I feel when I receive feedback? Through this exploration, you can gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your responses. As you embark on this journey of self-discovery, remember to be gentle with yourself. Change takes time, and it's okay to feel vulnerable. Embrace the process and allow yourself to grow. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your journey. Their positivity can reinforce your efforts to reclaim your power. Understanding the self is a lifelong journey, and each step brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. As you cultivate self-awareness, practice non-attachment, and embrace mindfulness, you'll find that your power lies within you. This inner strength will guide you through life's ups and downs, helping you remain grounded in your true self. In the next part, we will explore the Buddhist perspective on attachment and how it affects our power. By learning to let go of attachments, we can cultivate a life filled with peace and fulfillment. The Buddhist perspective on attachment. In life, we often cling to things, ideas, or even people, thinking they will bring us happiness. But what if we told you that this attachment can actually take away your power? In Buddhism, attachment is seen as one of the main causes of suffering. It's like holding onto a hot coal, believing it will bring you joy when, in reality, it only burns your hand. Imagine you have a favorite shirt. You love it so much that you wear it every day. One day, it gets a tear, and you feel upset. Your happiness is tied to that shirt, and now you feel incomplete without it. But what if instead, you enjoyed the shirt while you had it, knowing that things can change? By understanding that nothing lasts forever, you free yourself from the pain of loss. This is what Buddhism teaches about attachment. It's about appreciating what you have without becoming overly dependent on it. Buddhism encourages us to see life as a flowing river. Everything is constantly changing, and nothing stays the same. The moment we cling to something, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Just like a leaf floating down the river, we should learn to go with the flow, embracing each moment as it comes. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care about things or people. It simply means you should enjoy them without becoming overly attached. Think about a situation in your life where you felt deeply attached. Maybe it was a relationship that didn't work out or a job that you loved but lost. When you cling to these experiences, you give away your power. You let the loss define your happiness. But if you can let go, you create space for new experiences and opportunities. Life becomes richer when you don't hold on too tightly. In Buddhism, letting go of attachment also means understanding the concept of impermanence. Everything around us is temporary. Relationships, possessions, and even feelings come and go. By accepting this, you gain a sense of freedom. You no longer feel trapped by the need to hold on. Instead, you can enjoy the present moment without fear of what might happen next. Consider the story of a monk who lived in a small village. He was known for his calm demeanor and wise words. One day, a villager came to him, upset about losing a prized possession. The monk listened patiently and then asked, "Did that object bring you joy? Or did you bring joy to the object?" The villager pondered this and realized that his happiness was tied to the object, not the other way around. The monk smiled and said, "True happiness comes from within, not from things outside of you." This story highlights an important lesson. We often mistake attachment for love. But true love is not possessive. It's about caring for someone or something without losing yourself in it. When you learn to love without attachment, you empower yourself. You can celebrate the joys of life without fearing loss. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate non-attachment through practices like mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness helps you become aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you notice an attachment arising, you can choose to acknowledge it and then let it go. Meditation, on the other hand, allows you to connect with your inner self. In these quiet moments, you can reflect on what truly matters to you and what you can let go of. Let's take a moment to think about our relationships. Many people believe that love means holding on tightly. However, true love allows space for freedom. When you love someone, you support their growth, even if it means they may change or leave. This is a powerful way to maintain your own sense of self while still caring for others. In practice, you can start small. Think of something in your life that you feel attached to. It could be an object, a routine, or even a person. Now, imagine how your life would look if you let that attachment go. How would it feel to be free from the weight of needing that thing to be happy? This exercise can help you realize that your happiness does not depend on external factors. Another essential aspect of the Buddhist perspective on attachment is the importance of self-awareness. By understanding your own desires and motivations, you can make conscious choices about what you allow into your life. Ask yourself, why do I feel the need to hold on to this? What do I gain from it? This reflection can uncover underlying fears or insecurities driving your attachment. As you embark on this journey of letting go, be gentle with yourself. It's normal to feel resistance. After all, attachment can provide a sense of security. But remember, true security comes from within. By embracing impermanence and practicing non-attachment, you empower yourself to face life's challenges with resilience. In conclusion, the Buddhist perspective on attachment invites us to shift our focus from external possessions to internal fulfillment. By letting go of the need to cling, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities. Happiness becomes less about what we have and more about who we are. So, take a deep breath, acknowledge your attachments, and allow yourself the freedom to let go. In doing so, you reclaim your power and discover the beauty of living in the present moment. Letting go of ego, freedom from external validation. Ego is like a shadow. It follows you everywhere, sometimes whispering sweet things, and other times screaming loudly. Have you ever noticed how much you care about what others think of you? Perhaps you seek praise from your boss, approval from friends, or likes on social media. The need for external validation can feel comforting, but it can also trap you in a cycle of anxiety and disappointment. Letting go of ego is a crucial step toward freedom. In Buddhism, the ego is seen as a barrier to true happiness. It creates a sense of separation between you and others. When you cling to your ego, you define yourself by what you achieve, how others perceive you, or the status you hold. This attachment to your self-image can lead to suffering. The moment someone criticizes you or doesn't recognize your efforts, you feel deflated. But what if you could break free from this cycle? Imagine waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror without any judgment. Instead of thinking, I need to look perfect, or I must impress everyone today, you simply say, I am enough just as I am. This shift in mindset allows you to live authentically. You start making choices that reflect your true self rather than what others expect from you. Letting go of ego means you start to value your inner qualities over your outer achievements. This doesn't mean you stop striving for success or improvement. Rather, you redefine what success means to you. Instead of measuring your worth by how much you earn or how many accolades you receive, you begin to find value in kindness, compassion, and self-acceptance. Think about a time when you felt proud of something you did without seeking approval. Maybe it was helping a friend in need or volunteering for a cause you care about. In those moments, you felt a sense of fulfillment that no external validation could provide. That is the essence of letting go of ego. It allows you to tap into a deeper sense of joy and purpose. In Buddhist practice, meditation can be a powerful tool for diminishing the grip of ego. When you sit in silence, focusing on your breath, you become aware of the thoughts that pass through your mind. You may notice moments of self-judgment or the urge to impress others. Instead of clinging to these thoughts, You simply observe them and let them go. This practice helps you realize that these thoughts do not define who you are. The teachings of Buddhism also emphasize compassion for oneself and others. When you let go of your ego, you open your heart to understanding and kindness. You begin to see others as fellow travelers on their own journeys, rather than as competitors or obstacles. This shift in perspective can lead to more meaningful relationships built on mutual respect and love rather than on comparison or judgment. One of the great masters of Buddhism, Thich Nhat Hanh, often spoke about the importance of mindfulness in letting go of ego. He taught that being present in each moment helps you recognize the impermanence of everything, including your own identity. When you accept that your self-image is fluid and ever-changing, it becomes easier to let go of the need for constant validation. Think of the seasons. Just as trees shed their leaves in autumn, you too can shed the layers of ego that no longer serve you. This process might be uncomfortable at first. You might feel exposed or vulnerable, but it is also liberating. With every layer you release, you uncover the authentic self that has always been there, waiting to shine. Letting go of ego is not a one-time event. It's a continuous journey. There will be days when you feel confident in your true self, and days when you slip back into old habits of seeking approval. The key is to be gentle with yourself during these times. Recognize that it's part of being human, and that each moment is an opportunity for growth. In embracing this journey, you also cultivate resilience. When your sense of self-worth comes from within, you become less affected by the ups and downs of life. You learn to stand firm in your values and beliefs, regardless of external opinions. This inner strength can lead to a more peaceful existence, where you navigate challenges with grace and understanding. Another powerful aspect of letting go of ego is the freedom it brings. Imagine feeling free from the chains of judgment and expectation. You can express yourself without fear of ridicule. You can pursue passions that truly excite you, rather than those that impress others. This freedom allows you to connect with your true purpose and live a life that resonates deeply with who you are. As you continue on this path, consider setting small intentions for yourself. Each day, remind yourself of your worth without the need for validation. When you face a situation that triggers your ego, take a moment to breathe and ground yourself. Ask, what do I truly value in this moment? This simple question can redirect your focus from the outside world to your inner landscape. Ultimately, letting go of ego is a gift to yourself and those around you. As you become more authentic, you create space for others to do the same. You inspire those in your life to seek their own truths and live freely. This ripple effect can transform not just your life, but the lives of those you touch. In summary, the journey of letting go of ego is an essential aspect of personal growth and spiritual development. By embracing your authentic self and valuing inner qualities over external validation, you can experience a profound sense of freedom and peace. Remember, every step you take on this path brings you closer to the true essence of who you are, unbound by the opinions of others. Mindfulness and presence, anchoring yourself in the now. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of the present moment. Have you ever caught yourself worrying about tomorrow or dwelling on the past? When our minds race ahead or linger behind, we give away our power to those thoughts. Mindfulness teaches us to return to the here and now, anchoring ourselves in the present moment. This practice helps us reclaim our power and focus on what truly matters. Imagine you're enjoying a meal. Instead of savoring the flavors and textures, you might be scrolling through your phone or thinking about what you have to do later. By doing this, you miss out on the simple joy of eating. Mindfulness invites us to fully engage with each moment, allowing us to experience life deeply. To practice mindfulness, start by taking a few deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly expand, then exhale gently through your mouth. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more aware of your surroundings. Notice the sounds, the smells, and even the temperature of the air. This simple act brings you back to the present, where your true power resides. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of being present. The Buddha taught that suffering often arises from our attachment to past regrets and future anxieties. When we focus too much on what has happened or what might happen, we miss out on the beauty of the now. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to let go of those burdens, finding peace in the present. Another way to cultivate mindfulness is through daily activities. Whether washing dishes, taking a shower, or walking, bring your full attention to the task at hand. Feel the water on your hands, listen to the sound of your footsteps, and notice the sensations in your body. Engaging fully in these moments helps you stay grounded and prevents your mind from wandering. Mindfulness isn't just about being aware, it's also about acceptance. When thoughts or feelings arise, instead of pushing them away or judging them, acknowledge them. I see you, and I'm okay with you being here. This acceptance reduces the power those thoughts have over you. They no longer control your emotions or decisions. You become the observer of your mind. One powerful mindfulness technique is the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. It's a grounding practice that helps you reconnect with the present. Take a moment to look around you and identify 5 things you can see. Then, notice 4 things you can touch. Next, listen for 3 sounds in your environment. After that, identify 2 scents you can smell. Finally, take a deep breath and focus on 1 thing you can taste. This exercise brings you back to the moment and helps you appreciate your surroundings. Being present also enhances your relationships. When you give your full attention to someone, you show that you value them. Have you ever talked to someone who seemed distracted? It can feel frustrating, right? When you practice mindfulness, you become a better listener. You can connect more deeply with others and build stronger bonds. Mindfulness can also help reduce stress and anxiety. When faced with overwhelming situations, take a step back and breathe. Focus on your breath and remind yourself that this moment will pass. You are not defined by your circumstances. Your power lies in how you respond to them. By staying present, you can navigate challenges with a clearer mind and a calmer heart. Another aspect of mindfulness is gratitude. When you cultivate a sense of gratitude for the present moment, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. Each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. This practice helps you appreciate life's simple joys and brings more positivity into your day. As you continue to practice mindfulness, you'll notice how it transforms your life. You'll feel more grounded, less reactive, and more in control of your emotions. By anchoring yourself in the present, you reclaim your power and cultivate a sense of inner peace that lasts. Remember, mindfulness is a journey, not a destination. It takes time and practice to develop this skill. Be gentle with yourself and allow room for growth. Each moment is an opportunity to practice being present, so embrace it with an open heart. In the busy rhythm of life, remind yourself to pause and breathe. By doing so, you'll find that your power lies not in external circumstances, but in your ability to be present and engaged in each moment. Compassionate detachment, caring without losing power. In life, we often find ourselves caring deeply about others. Whether it's friends, family, or even strangers, our hearts naturally want to reach out and help. But sometimes, this caring can become overwhelming. We get so invested in others' happiness that we start to lose our own peace of mind. This is where the idea of compassionate detachment comes in. It's about caring deeply while also protecting your own emotional well-being. Imagine you have a friend who is going through a tough time. You want to support them, to be there for them. But every time you talk, they seem stuck in their problems. You listen, you offer advice, but they don't seem to change. You might start to feel drained or frustrated. This is a classic example of how we can give away our power when we become too attached to the outcomes of others' lives. Compassionate detachment teaches us that we can still care for our friends without becoming overwhelmed by their struggles. Buddhism teaches us about interdependence. We are all connected, and our actions affect one another. But just because we are connected doesn't mean we have to carry someone else's burdens on our backs. Compassionate detachment allows us to offer our support without losing ourselves in the process. It's like holding a beautiful flower. You can appreciate its beauty, you can even care for it, but you don't need to let it consume your thoughts or energy. To practice compassionate detachment, start by recognizing your own feelings. When you notice yourself becoming overly invested in someone else's problems, pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, am I trying to fix their situation because I genuinely want to help? Or am I feeling anxious and want to control the outcome? This self-awareness is crucial. It helps you separate your emotions from theirs. Another important aspect is setting boundaries. It's okay to say, "I'm here for you, but I also need to take care of myself." Boundaries are not about shutting others out. They're about protecting your own space and energy. For instance, if your friend constantly seeks your advice but never takes it, it might be time to step back and allow them to find their own way. You can still be supportive from a distance, cheering them on while maintaining your own inner peace. You can also practice compassion through small actions. Instead of diving deep into someone's problems, try small acts of kindness. A warm message, a thoughtful gesture, or just being present without getting entangled in their emotional struggles can make a big difference. This way, you express your care without losing your power. It's about being a lighthouse in a storm, shining your light while staying rooted in your own strength. Another helpful practice is meditation. Spend time in silence, reflecting on your relationships and how they affect you. Use this time to visualize your connections with others. Imagine each relationship as a thread, and as you meditate, visualize gently holding these threads. Notice which ones feel heavy or draining, and which ones uplift you. This visualization can help you see where you might need to create more space or distance, allowing you to maintain a sense of balance. In Buddhism, loving kindness meditation, or metta, can be incredibly powerful. This practice involves sending love and good wishes to yourself and others. Start with yourself, repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I be safe." Then extend these wishes to those you care about. This meditation helps cultivate compassion without attachment, reminding you that your happiness matters too. Compassionate detachment isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about finding a balance between caring for others and caring for yourself. When you can step back, you allow others the space to grow and learn. You also protect your own energy, creating a healthier dynamic in your relationships. Remember, you are not responsible for fixing everyone's problems. By letting go of the need to control outcomes, you reclaim your power and live with a lighter heart. As you practice this compassionate detachment, you may notice that your relationships start to change for the better. By freeing yourself from the weight of others' expectations, you can engage more genuinely. You'll find that you can still be there for others without losing your own sense of joy and peace. This doesn't mean you care any less. It simply means you are choosing to nurture yourself while being a source of support for those around you. In conclusion, compassionate detachment is a beautiful way to navigate the complexities of relationships. It allows you to care without becoming consumed. By practicing self-awareness, setting boundaries, engaging in loving kindness meditation, and taking mindful actions, you can foster deep connections while maintaining your inner strength. Remember, your well-being is just as important as the well-being of those you love. Embrace compassionate detachment and watch how your relationships flourish, bringing you peace and joy. Dealing with negative emotions, mastering anger and fear. Every day, we encounter challenges that can trigger negative emotions. Whether it's anger at a colleague, frustration with a loved one, or fear of failure, these feelings can be overwhelming. But what if you could change your relationship with these emotions? What if you could view them as opportunities for growth instead of obstacles? This is where the teachings of Buddhism come in, offering tools to help you master your emotions rather than be mastered by them. Anger is a powerful emotion. When someone cuts you off in traffic, or when a friend lets you down, it's easy to feel that fire burning inside. Instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to pause. Buddhism teaches us the importance of mindfulness, being aware of our thoughts and feelings without letting them control us. When anger arises, acknowledge it. Say to yourself, "I feel anger right now." This simple acknowledgement can help you step back and observe the emotion rather than letting it dictate your actions. Fear, too, is a common feeling that often holds us back. Many people fear failure, rejection, or even change. This fear can keep you stuck, preventing you from pursuing your dreams or making necessary changes in your life. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, try to see it as a teacher. What is this fear trying to tell you? Often, it points to something important you need to address. By facing your fears, rather than avoiding them, you can transform them into stepping stones toward growth. Consider the practice of meditation. It's a powerful tool that allows you to sit with your emotions in a calm space. When you meditate, you create distance between yourself and your feelings. You learn to observe them without judgment. If anger arises during meditation, instead of pushing it away, breathe into it. Visualize it as a wave. Let it rise and fall, knowing that it will pass. This practice helps you develop resilience, making it easier to handle negative emotions in your daily life. Another effective technique is to reframe your thoughts. When you feel anger, instead of saying, "I can't believe they did this to me," try thinking, "This is an opportunity for me to practice patience." When fear creeps in, instead of, "What if I fail?" switch to, "What if I learn something valuable?" This shift in perspective can reduce the intensity of negative emotions and empower you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Buddhism also teaches the concept of impermanence. Everything, including emotions, is temporary. Just as joy comes and goes, so do anger and fear. When you recognize that these feelings are not permanent parts of you, they become easier to manage. Remember that you are not your emotions. They are simply passing visitors in your mind. Acknowledge their presence, but don't let them define you. Building emotional resilience takes practice. Just like physical strength, it develops over time. Start small. When you notice a negative emotion arising, take a few deep breaths. Ground yourself in the present moment. Ask yourself, "What do I need right now?" This simple question can lead to powerful insights. Maybe you need to step outside for fresh air, talk to a friend, or take a moment to journal your thoughts. Listening to your needs is an essential part of emotional mastery. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can also help you navigate negative emotions. Share your feelings with those you trust. Talking about your experiences can lessen their weight and provide new perspectives. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. Seeking support is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Connecting with others can help you process your emotions and feel less alone in your struggles. As you learn to master your negative emotions, you'll notice a shift in your interactions with others. Instead of reacting with anger or fear, you'll respond with understanding and compassion. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means acknowledging them while choosing how to act. When you approach situations with a calm mindset, you create space for healthier communication and deeper connections. Finally, remember to practice self-compassion. When negative emotions arise, don't judge yourself harshly. It's part of being human. Instead, treat yourself with kindness. Remind yourself that everyone struggles with these feelings at times. Embrace your imperfections and know that it's okay to feel upset or afraid. The key is not to stay in that space, but to learn and grow from it. By mastering your anger and fear through these practices, you reclaim your power. You stop giving your emotional well-being to others or to circumstances beyond your control. Instead, you become the master of your reactions and the creator of your emotional landscape. This journey is not about eliminating negative emotions, but learning to coexist with them in a healthier way. As you cultivate this inner strength, you'll find that you can face life's challenges with grace and resilience. Practicing non-reaction, finding strength in stillness. In life, we encounter many situations that trigger strong reactions within us. It could be a heated argument with a friend, a stressful day at work, or unexpected news that throws us off balance. In these moments, our instinct may be to react immediately, letting our emotions take charge. But what if we paused instead? What if we chose not to react at all? This practice of non-reaction can be a powerful tool in reclaiming our personal power. Imagine you're in a meeting and a colleague criticizes your idea. Instinctively, you feel the urge to defend yourself or retaliate. But in that moment, take a deep breath. Allow yourself to feel the initial wave of emotion without acting on it. By doing this, you create space between the stimulus, your colleague's words, and your response. This space is where your true power lies. Buddhism teaches us that our thoughts and feelings are often temporary. They come and go like clouds in the sky. When we react impulsively, we attach ourselves to these passing emotions, allowing them to dictate our actions. By practicing non-reaction, we learn to observe our feelings without being swept away by them. It's like watching a river flow by without jumping in. You remain on the riverbank, safe and sound. One of the best ways to practice non-reaction is through mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us become aware of our thoughts and emotions as they arise. When we notice these feelings, we can choose how to respond instead of simply reacting. For example, when you feel anger rising, acknowledge it. I am feeling angry right now. Then, instead of lashing out, ask yourself what you really need in that moment. This self-awareness gives you the power to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Let's look at a simple daily life example. Picture yourself in a situation where someone cuts in front of you in a grocery line. You feel annoyance bubbling up inside. Instead of expressing that annoyance, take a moment to breathe deeply. Feel your feet on the ground, and remind yourself that this small incident does not have to ruin your day. This practice of pausing allows you to take back your power and choose a calm response. The next time you find yourself in a triggering situation, try to pause for a few moments before reacting. Notice what you feel. Is it anger, fear, frustration, or something else? Recognize these feelings without judgment. You don't have to act on them immediately. Instead, ask yourself, what is the best response in this situation? This inquiry allows you to shift from a place of reaction to a place of mindful consideration. This practice also applies to online interactions. Social media can be a hotbed of triggers where people often express opinions that clash with our own. It's easy to feel provoked by someone's comment and rush to respond. But before you type out a reply, take a moment to breathe. Ask yourself if responding is necessary or if it would simply escalate the situation. Sometimes, choosing not to engage is the most powerful response. Buddhism teaches that our true nature is one of compassion and understanding. When we practice non-reaction, we can approach others with empathy, even in challenging situations. Instead of reacting with anger or frustration, we can respond with kindness. This not only helps us maintain our peace, but also encourages a more harmonious environment around us. Non-reaction doesn't mean being passive or indifferent. It's about being intentional with our responses. We can stand up for ourselves and express our feelings, but we do so from a place of calm and clarity. This allows us to communicate effectively without letting emotions cloud our judgment. Another key aspect of practicing non-reaction is developing patience. In our fast-paced world, we often expect immediate results and quick answers. But true power comes from being patient with ourselves and the situation. When we practice patience, we give ourselves the grace to respond thoughtfully, rather than jumping to conclusions. In your daily life, try to integrate small moments of stillness. Whether it's during a busy workday or while waiting in line, take a few moments to breathe and center yourself. This practice can help you become more resilient when challenges arise. As you become accustomed to finding stillness, you'll notice that you can maintain your composure even in stressful situations. Let's take a moment to reflect on how practicing non-reaction can improve your relationships. When we react impulsively, we often say things we don't mean, which can lead to misunderstandings and hurt feelings. By practicing non-reaction, we give ourselves the opportunity to communicate more clearly and thoughtfully. This can deepen our connections with others and create a more respectful atmosphere. As we continue to embrace this practice, we must remember that it is a journey. It's natural to struggle with non-reaction, especially in emotionally charged situations. Be gentle with yourself as you learn this skill. Each time you choose to pause instead of react, you're strengthening your ability to stay grounded and calm. Finding strength in stillness is a transformative journey. As you embrace this practice of non-reaction, you'll notice that your power grows. You'll feel more in control of your emotions and your responses. Over time, this will lead to greater peace, not just within yourself, but in your interactions with the world around you. In conclusion, practicing non-reaction allows us to reclaim our personal power. It offers a pathway to a more peaceful and intentional life. By embracing mindfulness, patience, and compassion, we can navigate life's challenges with grace. Remember, your response is your choice. Choose wisely, and you will find strength in stillness. The middle way, balance in relationships and boundaries. In our lives, we often find ourselves pulled in different directions. We want to be kind and supportive to others, but we also need to take care of ourselves. This balance can be tricky, but Buddhism teaches us about the middle way, a path that encourages harmony and moderation in all things. The middle way is about finding balance. Imagine walking the tightrope. If you lean too far to one side, you risk falling off. But if you stay centered, you can navigate with grace. This applies to our relationships too. If we give too much of ourselves, we can become exhausted and resentful. If we protect ourselves too much, we can miss out on meaningful connections. The key is to find that sweet spot where you can care for others while also honoring your own needs. Setting boundaries is a crucial part of maintaining this balance. Boundaries are like fences that protect your garden. They keep out the weeds that can choke your flowers. In relationships, boundaries help you define what you are comfortable with and what you are not. They allow you to say, "This is my space, and I need to protect it." It's not about shutting people out. It's about making sure you have the energy and space to be your best self. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by someone else's demands. Maybe a friend needed constant support, or a family member relied on you too much. In those moments, it's easy to feel trapped. But when you set clear boundaries, you give yourself permission to step back and breathe. You can say, "I care about you, but I also need time for myself." This doesn't mean you love them any less. It means you value your own well-being too. Practicing the middle way also involves recognizing the impermanence of life. Relationships can change, and that's okay. People grow and evolve, just like you. Embracing this change can help you adjust your expectations. Instead of holding on to rigid ideas of how relationships should be, you learn to flow with what is. This flexibility allows you to respond to others with compassion while still honoring your needs. Sometimes, we may feel guilty for prioritizing ourselves. Society often tells us that being selfless is the highest virtue. However, Buddhism teaches us that self-care is essential. When you take care of yourself, you have more to give to others. Think of it like filling a cup with water. If your cup is empty, you can't pour into anyone else's. But when your cup is full, you can share freely without feeling depleted. To practice the middle way in your relationships, start by reflecting on your current boundaries. Are there areas where you feel drained or overwhelmed? Write down specific examples of where you need to draw the line. This exercise can help you become more aware of your needs and communicate them effectively. Next, practice saying no when necessary. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's a vital skill. Start small. Perhaps decline an invitation to an event when you need some quiet time. With practice, saying no will become easier, and you'll feel empowered to make choices that align with your well-being. Another important aspect of the middle way is mindful communication. When discussing your boundaries with others, approach the conversation with kindness and clarity. Use I statements to express your feelings. For example, say, "I feel overwhelmed when I'm asked to do too much," rather than "You always ask too much of me." This helps others understand your perspective without feeling attacked. In relationships, conflicts are natural. However, how you handle these conflicts can determine the health of your connections. Instead of reacting out of anger or frustration, take a step back and breathe. Respond with thoughtfulness. This practice can transform arguments into opportunities for growth and understanding. Remember that the middle way is not a destination. It's a journey. Each day presents new challenges and opportunities to practice balance. Celebrate small victories. If you set a boundary and feel good about it, acknowledge that success. The more you practice, the more you'll discover your own rhythm in relationships. Lastly, remember to cultivate compassion, both for yourself and others. When someone crosses a boundary, try to understand their perspective. Maybe they didn't realize their actions affected you. Compassion helps you respond with love instead of resentment, maintaining the balance you seek. By embracing the middle way, you can create healthier relationships that nourish both yourself and those you care about. Balance is not about perfection. It's about being present and flexible. As you practice this path, you'll find that your relationships become richer and more fulfilling, allowing you to share your true self without losing your power. Karma and responsibility. Owning your reactions. In our journey through life, every action we take creates ripples that affect not only ourselves, but also those around us. This is the essence of karma. Karma isn't just about good or bad actions. It's about understanding that everything we do has consequences. It's about taking full responsibility for how we respond to life's challenges. Imagine you're at a coffee shop, and the barista makes a mistake with your order. You could choose to react with anger, letting frustration boil over. Or you could pause, take a deep breath, and calmly address the mistake. This simple choice reflects your understanding of karma. When you respond with kindness, you create positive ripples that can uplift not just your mood, but the mood of those around you. In Buddhism, the law of karma teaches us that our reactions are just as important as our actions. Every time we face a situation, we have the power to choose how we respond. This is where personal responsibility comes into play. It's easy to blame others for how we feel or for the circumstances we find ourselves in. However, true growth comes when we acknowledge that we have the ability to shape our experiences through our responses. When we take ownership of our reactions, we stop giving our power away. If someone criticizes you, instead of feeling hurt or defensive, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or, is this criticism truly valid? This shift in perspective empowers you. It allows you to transform a potentially negative encounter into an opportunity for self-reflection and growth. Let's consider the story of a man named Raj. Raj worked in a bustling office and often found himself stressed by his colleagues' demanding nature. One day, a coworker publicly criticized him during a meeting. In the past, Raj would have felt embarrassed and defensive, but this time, he remembered the teachings of karma. Instead of reacting with anger, he took a moment to breathe. He calmly acknowledged the feedback and asked for clarification. By choosing this response, Raj not only maintained his dignity but also fostered a positive environment. His calm demeanor encouraged others to respond with respect, shifting the entire dynamic of the office. This experience taught Raj a powerful lesson about the strength of owning his reactions and how it influenced those around him. Karma is also about the energy we put into the world. If we react to negativity with more negativity, we're trapped in a cycle that brings more suffering. Instead, we can break that cycle. Imagine a chain reaction of kindness. When we respond with understanding and compassion, we create a wave of positivity that can touch many lives. Taking responsibility for our reactions means being mindful of our emotional responses. It's essential to recognize our feelings without letting them control us. This is where mindfulness comes in. When you feel anger, frustration, or sadness, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? And how can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? By practicing this mindfulness, we cultivate awareness of our reactions. Instead of being swept away by emotions, we become observers of them. This shift gives us the power to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. It's a practice that requires patience and dedication, but over time, it can lead to profound changes in how we navigate life's challenges. Furthermore, accepting responsibility for our actions can bring about healing. When we acknowledge our part in a conflict, we open the door to resolution and understanding. It's about saying, I see my role in this situation, and I'm willing to change. This willingness not only helps us grow, but also strengthens our relationships with others. In relationships, whether personal or professional, taking responsibility for our reactions fosters trust and respect. People appreciate those who can acknowledge their mistakes and strive to improve. This creates a foundation for deeper connections and more meaningful interactions. Moreover, the concept of karma reminds us that life is interconnected. Our actions have far-reaching effects, even when we can't see them. By choosing kindness, patience, and understanding, we contribute to a better world. We may not always see the immediate results, but the seeds of positive actions will grow in ways we cannot predict. As we reflect on karma and responsibility, it's essential to remember that this journey is not about perfection. We all make mistakes and have moments of weakness. What matters is our commitment to learning and growing from those experiences. Each time we choose to respond thoughtfully, we reinforce our personal power and create a ripple effect of positivity in the world around us. In summary, karma teaches us that our reactions matter. By owning our responses, we reclaim our power and create a life that reflects our true values. Letting go of blame and embracing responsibility allows us to navigate challenges with grace and resilience. Each day offers a new opportunity to practice this awareness, shaping our lives and the lives of others through our choices. When we recognize the impact of our reactions, we can truly live with intention, creating a brighter future for ourselves and those we encounter. Inner peace, the unshakable power of a calm mind. As a Zen master, I've spent many years observing how easily people lose their peace. It happens so fast, doesn't it? A harsh word, a small disappointment, or an unexpected change can throw someone into a storm of frustration, anger, or sadness. But I want to tell you something today. Your peace is your power. Once you master the art of keeping your mind calm, no one can take that power from you. Let me begin with a simple truth that is often forgotten in the chaos of daily life. Peace comes from within. It's not something you find outside. It's not something others can give you. Peace is not in the perfect job, the ideal relationship, or the dream home. It's in your mind, and it's always there, waiting for you to uncover it. Many people believe that they will only find peace when everything around them is perfect. But here's the truth. Life will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, difficulties, and unexpected moments. The key to unshakable peace is not to remove all of life's obstacles, but to learn how to remain still within yourself, no matter what happens. Imagine the surface of a lake. When the wind blows, the water becomes disturbed, waves form, and the once calm surface is broken. But deep below, the water remains still. Your mind is like that lake. The surface may be stirred by the winds of life, but if you learn to go deeper, you'll discover a place within you that remains calm, no matter what. How do you find that calm? It begins with awareness. In Buddhism, we often talk about mindfulness, which means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you are fully present, you begin to see how much of your distress comes from your mind's tendency to get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. But peace exists only in the present moment. Right here, right now. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly peaceful? Chances are, it was in a moment when you were fully present. Maybe it was while you were watching a beautiful sunset, listening to calming music, or sitting quietly by yourself. In those moments, your mind wasn't racing ahead, nor was it dwelling on something that had already happened. You were simply being, and in that being, you found peace. But how do you carry that peace with you into the more challenging parts of life? That's where practice comes in. Just like a tree that stands strong through storms because of its deep roots, you can cultivate a deep, unshakable peace by practicing mindfulness and meditation regularly. Let's start with something simple. Right now, wherever you are, take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Notice the feeling of the air moving in and out of your lungs. This simple act of focusing on your breath can bring you back to the present moment. The mind may try to wander, pulling you back into worries or distractions, but gently bring your attention back to your breath. In doing so, you'll notice that even if there is chaos around you, there is a stillness you can find inside. This is the power of meditation, a space where you can return to yourself no matter what's happening in the outside world. Over time, as you practice this, something remarkable happens. You begin to carry that stillness with you. Instead of reacting to every difficulty with anger or frustration, you start responding with calm and clarity. You stop giving your power away to external situations. Whether someone is rude to you or things don't go your way, your inner peace remains intact. This is not to say that you won't feel emotions anymore. You will, but instead of being swept away by them, you will watch them come and go, like clouds passing in the sky. You'll begin to see that emotions are temporary and they don't define you. What defines you is your ability to stay centered, no matter what arises. You see, inner peace is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about understanding that while you may not control the world around you, you always have the power to choose how you respond. And in that choice, there is great freedom. In Buddhism, we often speak of the middle path, which is the way of balance. Inner peace is found when you stop swinging from one extreme to another, from joy to sorrow, from hope to despair. It's about finding a steady center within yourself, a place of calm that can weather any storm. Think of a bamboo plant. Bamboo is both flexible and strong. When the wind blows, it bends, but it doesn't break. It flows with the wind, yet remains rooted in the ground. This is the essence of inner peace, learning to bend with life's challenges without being broken by them. You remain rooted in your own calm center, and that is where your strength lies. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. But every time you take a moment to pause, to breathe, and to bring yourself back to the present, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself that peace is always available to you, no matter what. One of the most important lessons Buddhism teaches about peace is impermanence. Everything in life is constantly changing. Our thoughts, our emotions, our circumstances. When you understand that nothing stays the same forever, you stop clinging so tightly to the things you can't control. You realize that just as joy comes and goes, so does pain. Just as excitement rises and falls, so does fear. The more you accept this flow of life, the less you will be disturbed by it. Instead of resisting change or trying to control every outcome, you learn to flow with life like water. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. It means you stop fighting against the inevitable and start embracing the present moment, just as it is. And here's the beautiful thing. When you stop fighting life, you find peace. You begin to experience a quiet joy that isn't based on external conditions, but on your inner state of being. You discover that true happiness doesn't come from having everything go your way, but from being at peace with whatever comes your way. Inner peace doesn't mean your life will be free from difficulties. It means you will face those difficulties with grace, strength, and a calm heart. You will no longer be thrown off balance by the ups and downs of life because your center, your peace, will remain steady. And this is the greatest power you can ever have, the power of a calm mind. A mind that is not shaken by external events. A mind that remains at peace, no matter what challenges arise. This is the unshakable power that lies within you. And once you discover it, no one can take it from you. So, the next time life tests you, remember this. Your peace is your power. Don't give it away. Stay calm, stay centered, and know that within you is a stillness that no storm can touch. Conclusion. Embracing your true power. As you reach the end of this journey, take a deep breath. Feel the calmness within. All along, you've been learning not just ideas, but practical steps to reclaim the power that is already yours. The truth is, your power has always been within you. It's not something you need to find outside or in others. It's about realizing that you, at this very moment, have control over how you feel, how you react, and how you live. Now let me ask you, can you remember a time when you let someone else's words, actions, or opinions make you feel small or upset? Maybe it was something a friend said, or perhaps a stranger's rude comment on social media. In those moments, you gave away a piece of your power. But what if, from today onwards, you decided not to let that happen anymore? This journey we've taken together is about finding that strength within and learning to hold on to it, no matter what happens in the world around you. You've heard about mindfulness, the importance of letting go of the ego, and how to master your emotions instead of being mastered by them. But all of this comes down to one simple truth. The only thing you can control is yourself. Think about the lessons Buddhism has taught us. It's about living in harmony with yourself, without the need for external validation or control over others. Your power doesn't come from manipulating situations or bending others to your will. It comes from inner peace, the calmness of mind that remains steady, like a mountain, even when the winds of life blow fiercely. In Buddhism, this is the essence of nirvana, the state of complete freedom from suffering. But it's not a mystical, far-off concept. It's something you can practice and experience in your everyday life. When you don't allow external events to control your inner state, you've already started your path toward that freedom. Now, let's bring this idea back to something very simple, daily life. Imagine you're at work and someone criticizes you. Maybe it's a boss or a colleague. Their words hit hard, and you feel that familiar rush of emotion, anger, frustration, or maybe self-doubt. But now, think back to what we've learned. You take a deep breath and remind yourself, their words don't define me. My reaction is within my control. Instead of reacting with anger or letting it affect your day, you stay calm. You recognize that their opinion is just that, an opinion. It doesn't have the power to change who you are unless you allow it to. This is the true essence of not giving away your power. It's about understanding that external events don't have to dictate your inner world. This shift in perspective changes everything. Once you realize that, the things that used to upset you will no longer hold the same weight. I want you to reflect on something. How much of your energy do you spend worrying about what others think of you, or trying to meet someone else's expectations? Perhaps it's a parent, a partner, or even society. So much of our stress comes from the need to control how others see us. But the wisdom we've explored together tells us that this is a losing battle. You cannot control others. You cannot change how they think or feel. And, most importantly, you don't need to. As a Zen master, I can tell you that true freedom comes from letting go of that need. It's about being content with yourself, no matter what others say or do. When you reach that point, your power becomes unshakable. You stop being swayed by every opinion, every comment, every slight inconvenience. Your mind becomes like water, calm, clear, and able to flow around any obstacle. And this is the final lesson I want to leave you with. Embrace your true power by embracing who you are. When you stop trying to prove yourself to others, you'll find a deep sense of peace. You'll realize that the opinions of others are just passing clouds in the sky. They come and go, but the sky, the real you, remains vast and unchanging. Throughout this video, we've talked about practical tools like mindfulness, detachment from the ego, and emotional resilience. But now it's time to put them into action. The next time you face a challenging situation, ask yourself, am I giving away my power? If the answer is yes, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply. Remember that you are in control of your reactions. No one else has the power to make you feel anything unless you allow them to. Remember, power doesn't mean controlling others. It means controlling yourself. And when you master yourself, you master your world. This is the secret of Buddhism. This is the secret of life. As we come to a close, I want you to take this moment and think about how you can apply these teachings. It could be in your relationships, at work, or even in the smallest daily interactions. The goal is not perfection, but progress. Every time you choose to respond instead of react, you're reclaiming a bit more of your power. And before we part, I want to say thank you for walking this path with me. Your growth, your dedication to becoming more mindful, is truly inspiring. But there's always more to learn, more to practice. So if you found value in this journey, I invite you to continue with us. Once again, this is Wisdom Woven, and we're so grateful for your time. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribes. So please, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and bring more wisdom into the world. Let's continue this journey together, finding peace, strength, and wisdom in every step. Thank you, and remember, your power is yours. Don't give it away. Be the master of your mind, and you'll be the master of your life.